One of the absolute coolest things that I get to explore as a coach is questions, right? And when I talk about questions, I mean specifically quality of questions. There are questions that you can ask that will get somebody to really explore their psyche, their subconscious, everything that's going on in their universe. And the more quality of the question that you ask, the better response it's going to be. And it's interesting too because like throughout my entire life what I've noticed is that I haven't always asked myself the highest quality questions. I haven't. And as a result of that, I haven't gotten the highest quality answers. But when I do ask myself high quality questions, I notice that I explore universes inside of me and in life that I didn't even know existed or I wasn't familiar with. And this really allows me to like go even beyond what it is that I previously thought I was capable of. And it's interesting too because last night I was looking at my trauma and I realized something new. And what's interesting about trauma is that it's such an individually unique experience that there's like no right or wrong answer as to how to go about it. And this is what I'm starting to learn about trauma in general. Um, no two people experience something the same. You might have a similar kind of vibe or understanding regarding it, but the way that two people experience something, in this case, trauma, is different. And I just think that that's a very interesting kind of perspective in life, right? So, yeah, I'm sitting here thinking about quality of questions. And not only that either, but like, as I reflect back on my life, I'm realizing that I made choices that really benefited me. like really benefited me, and I'm really happy about that. And I'm realizing now like, okay, well, let's sit with questions. Let's sit with high quality questions. Questions have like here's an example. If you want to kind of like see a projection of where your life could go, right? And you look back 5 to 10 years ago. If you look back on your life 5 to 10 years ago, you have the ability to see how you were as a person. And if you kind of like sit with that for a while, you'll understand why it is that you were the way that you were. If you look back a year, right? Maybe there was some type of change that happened. Then maybe you can look back 5 to 10 years and be like, okay, so what happened in that time frame that allowed me to change, or decisions that I made that changed my life and then therefore positively affected things moving forward. Then you can look at present day, but then you can also look at a year from now, and you can also look at 5 to 10 years from now. It's like, so if I approach my life this way, I can have this change or I can have that change. So, like, it's not even just questions, it's quality of how you explore your life, right? But, like, the question aspect of it is very important because if you look at it from the standpoint of, all right, I was this way or I was that way. Yeah, I was that way a year ago, right? I was that way a year ago. Today, I'm different. What changed? Right? You can look at that, and then that can provide you with insight. Oh, well, I decided to, I don't know, example. I decided to do a course on meditation. I decided to do a course on mindful journaling. I decided to do this, that, and the other. Okay, great. There's probably the answer to what it is that you were looking for. Now, what do I want the next year of my life to look like? What do I want the next 5 to 10 years of my life to look like? It's interesting that I'm asking these questions because growing up, I actually sincerely disliked these questions. At any time that I was asked these kinds of questions in like middle school or high school, like it was just like literally, it was just like, okay. And even now, like I look at it and it's like anything could change. Anything can change. Literally anything can change, and that's okay. And I'm 100% okay with that. But what I'm very interested in is looking at capacity, looking at potential, and looking at what it is that has influenced change in someone's life. And also like, okay, well, why did that happen? But that was what would be considered to be something negative. So why did it happen? Oh, because this person was going through that, and that negatively influenced them. Really weighed down on them for a while, and it caused them to lose motivation and this, that, and the other. Um, the thing that's so interesting to me, going more into the whole idea that no two people experience trauma the same way, is that like what I've been sitting with is like nostalgic thoughts and feelings in regards to my life a decade ago, and even more than that, right? And what I'm looking at is, to what extent is this healing for me? But then I just sit with the reality that no two people experience trauma or healing in and of itself in the same way. So there's nothing invalid about what it is that I'm experiencing. And understanding that and sitting with that is important, and realizing like what it means and stuff. And it's just like it is so interesting. When you ask quality questions, when you ask excellent questions, questions that challenge the narrative, questions that challenge your ability to think beyond what it is that you've previously thought, right? These types of questions allow for serious potential for transformation and altering events of life. I know that if I didn't start thinking about things in different ways about 5 to 10 years ago, my life would definitely not look the way that it does today. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the change in my life that I have. But this is a result of questions. Questions are absolutely important. And I would argue to ask quality questions as consistently as possible on a daily basis. Hey, what happened yet? Let's look at yesterday, right? Yesterday was a fantastic day, right? Yesterday was a fantastic day. What happened yesterday that was so good? Oh, okay, this, that, and the other. So, okay, let's do this, that, and the other again, perhaps more consistently, right? What was it that made yesterday an awful day? Oh, well, this, that, and the other happened. Okay, well, maybe we need to avoid this, that, and the other, or we need to prepare for this so that it doesn't happen, right? We can actually, obviously, but we can actually, prevent things from happening if we prepare. And the amount of times that things happen in life that are not in the favor of people are actually preventable. I know that it's obvious. It's just interesting because I'm exploring this whole thing of quality questions, and it's crazy how beneficial the application of this to one's own life is, but how often people are not using this kind of stuff, right? So I'm just here to explore questions and quality of questions to get a better understanding of how this all works and how it impacts and affects people, because it really does. It really does. It literally makes a difference in life. You can ask yourself a quality question and get a quality answer, and it will actually improve your life. You could also not, and you could also not ask a quality question and not get a quality answer, and it will not improve your life. So the choice is yours. This is also the difference between, like, oftentimes on autopilot, people have ants, automatic negative thoughts. And they might ask themselves, like, oh, why am I such an, self-degrading name? I don't know, insert stupid, idiot, whatever. But if you take that out, your mind will find a reason for you to know why you are that degrading name. But if you take that out and you ask yourself, why am I so good at this? Oh, because I have potential. I'm a human being. I have the capacity to make a positive choice for myself every single day that I wake up. And every single day that I wake up, I can get better and better and better. That's how it works. Quality questions.